Hello. Today I'm going to talk about dialects of languages. Now, a lot of times languages like Chinese or Arabic, they refer to one version or another as a dialect, when actually there's no mutual comprehension between the two dialects or other words. And what it really is what we call a language continuum. Before modernization and easy travel, people in any given area spoke like the people around them. But the language would change slightly from village to village. So you got what was called a language continuum. So in some village to the left, the west, let's say, you spoke language A. And the next village over, going further east, still spoke A, but a little bit different. And that continues on. Well, if you get, 20, 30 villages away, the language spoken in the first village is different enough from the village 20 villages away that the mutual comprehension goes down, because that's a characteristic of languages. We get fooled when we've got standardized languages like French or English, and especially if you're American, because of TV and a bunch of other factors, everybody speaks essentially the same language and can understand it. But if you get to pre-industrial areas where travel's not easy, people don't move around, it's really the case that the difference between dialects gets really fuzzy, because you can look at like China and they refer to what's spoken in Canton as a dialect of what's spoken in Beijing. Yeah, they're related, but it's over time, and one can understand the other. Or, for example, my ex-wife was from Chengdu. They speak a form of what's called Southwestern Mandarin, which is related to Beijing, but a lot of the words and the pronunciation modes are different. So in China they have instituted education such that the younger generations are all starting to speak standard Mandarin. The older Chinese still often speak only the local dialect. I can remember I had one speaking from China, and she would talk about how her mom really couldn't understand, or her mom couldn't understand Mandarin. Okay, and it's the same with Arabic. Arabic is really about 40 different languages spread out through the Middle East and the northern part of Africa. So Moroccan Arabic is not really the Arabic they speak anywhere in Saudi Arabia. Now, there is kind of like Egyptian can be understood by most Arabs now, but that's because Egypt became the Hollywood of the Arab-speaking world. But it's still the case that the words can change. Like some places for yes, it's nam. In other places, it's Iowa. And there's a whole lot of other changes like that. So, to understand dialects, realize that somebody may speak a dialect that may be another language, or it may be very different from the standard, but still somewhat comprehensible. And so you also get this phenomenon called diglossia, where people speak one form of the language locally, but they've all been educated in the standard language. So at home, they speak the local dialect, and then when they travel or they're out in public dealing with people who aren't from the area, they speak the standard. And that's also a form of social identification. So people from Chengdu, China, speak to other people from Chengdu in the Chengdu dialect. And elsewhere, they use standard Mandarin, and thereby hangs in an interesting tale. My ex-wife is from Chengdu. We lived in Edmond, Oklahoma, and at one point, my ex-wife had to get tickets to go to China, so she calls up a travel agency that deals with China, and the woman on the other side spoke the Chengdu dialect. And real quickly they figured out that, oh, they went to school together in Chengdu. And it gets even weirder is she also lived in Edmond, Oklahoma, because she had married a transplant doctor from Beijing, and he was working at the Oklahoma University Medical Center. And so obviously they reconnected, but that is kind of an unusual thing where a dialect and social identification led to my ex-wife reconnecting with a friend from her college days. So anyway, remember that dialects are not just a little bit different, sometimes they can be way different. So hit that like button, and we'll talk later.